Hi, I'm Clay Allison from Wicked Edge. In this video, I'm going to dig a little deeper into finding the angle on your knife. This is on a knife that you have not sharpened before and you don't know what angle it's sharpened to already. So the technique I'm presenting will work in any of our sharpeners, though in this video I've got this knife mounted in a Wicked Edge Go. So the first thing to do, once the knife is mounted up, is to color in your edge with a marker. I just run along the very edge like this, pushing downward, and generally that colors in both sides for me. So I don't have to worry about doing one side and then the other. And don't worry, if you get a little bit of marker down here on the side of the blade, a little bit of rubbing alcohol will take it right off. Okay, so now that the marker is colored in, I'm ready to start playing with the angles. What the marker is doing for me is it's helping me visualize how the stones are hitting the edge of the knife. So I'm going to go ahead and set my knife sharpener up here to say, I don't know, 25 degrees on one side. And I'm going to make a light pass with one of my stones. It's not easy to see maybe in the video, but it's only taking the marker off at the very edge. So what that's telling me is that I need to move my angles inward. If you're only getting marker off the very edge, move your angles inward. If you're only getting marker off down here at the shoulder, then your angles are in too far and you need to move them out. So I'm going to move in, say, to 20 degrees and try again. I'll make another light pass or two. And this time, a bright spot is appearing here where I'm rubbing it along the edge, still telling me I'm up on the edge and not far enough down the bevel towards the shoulder, so I'm still out too far. So I'm going to come in again a little further, this time to 17 degrees, and I'm going to repeat the process. Okay, so the bright spot where the marker is being removed by the stone is definitely coming further down the bevel, and I know I'm getting closer. So I'm going to go ahead and come on into 15 degrees and see if that will do it. Okay, and that's looking great. It's taking the marker off from the very edge all the way down onto the shoulder, so I know I've got a good match there. So the next thing that normally happens is you've got a new knife, you haven't sharpened it before, you do one side at 15 degrees and you find your angle there, or you find it at 20, wherever you find it, and then you go to do the other side, you find it doesn't match. That's pretty typical on a factory knife. It's just very common that one edge is sharpened at one angle and the other is at another angle, and that has more to do with mass production than anything else. In this case, I have already sharpened this knife before and I've preset my bevels at 15 degrees, so I know my left-hand side is going to match. But if it weren't to match, I would just go through the same exact process that I did on the other side until I found that angle. And then I would be presented with a decision. Do I keep my bevels uneven, having matched this one, say, for example, at 15 degrees and this one at 20? I definitely could do that and it wouldn't be terrible. Or I could make the choice like I did with this particular knife of setting the angles both at 15 degrees, spending a little extra time on the one side to bring the angle in and have it match. So that's a choice you can make. It really depends on your preference, how much time you're willing to spend on sharpening the knife. I can tell you that if you sharpened one at 15 degrees and one at 20, the knife is still going to cut very well. If you bring the other one into 15 degrees, it's just going to be that much sharper. So the other reason maybe in favor of making the bevels match is just making it easier for you to remember in the future. Yeah, on this particular knife, I sharpened it at 15 degrees both sides, and it's easy. Okay, so now that I've got my angles set, 15 degrees on both sides, I'm just going to take my stones and continue making alternating strokes like this, just one after the other. And I do that until basically all the marker's gone from both sides. At that point, I know that I've pretty much got my bevels created where I want, and I just have to go to that next step where I work on one side only and I start to try and draw a burr over and ensure that I've reached all the way to the very edge, and then of course do that on the other side. Alright, so thanks for watching. Just to recap, if you're just getting started with a knife and you don't know the angles, you're going to color the edge in with a marker, and then you're going to start wherever you are. Maybe 20 degrees is a good start. Make a couple passes and just see how much marker is removed and from what part of the bevel. And if it's removed from the very edge way up high, that means that you're out too far and you need to bring the angles in to a lower number, to a lower degree. And if you're only getting the marker off down here at the shoulder and you're not getting it up at the edge way up high, then that means that you're in too narrow and you've got to adjust your angle outward to a larger number, to a wider degree. And when you reach that point where the marker is being removed from the entire bevel, That's when you know you have a good match. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll be doing more videos about how to get the most out of your sharpener, so stay tuned.